Our topic for AP Environmental is the Chaco Anasazi Indians. They're located in the four corners of the United States, which is Utah, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico. But they're mostly centered in northwestern New Mexico, and they eventually settle into the Chaco Canyons. They started out living on top of the cliffs in cliff dwellings, which gave them an advantage against other tribes that were competing with them. They actually did not like to be called Anasazi because that term means ancient enemies, so they preferred to be called Pueblo people. The cliff dwellings were made out of stone and adobe. Adobe is made out of sand, water, clay, and it's left out to dry in the sun. So that's mainly what historians study when they look back in the Chaco Anasazi's history. Their economy was basically basket weavers, which went through many different stages, which Mackenzie will go over with you guys. They were originally hunter-gathering society, but the most unique thing about the Chaco Anasazi was their pottery and their stone structures. Looking at their pottery, originally it was very black and white, but it eventually turns into added colors like reds, which shows like the development in their social history. The society was tribal, so there was no major class distinctions. There wasn't a big leap from the highest in society to the lowest in society. There's no set religion for the Chaco Anasazi, but some may have practiced Kashina. Kashina could be worshipping the sun, the water, grains, all different kinds of personified items. They had dancers, dolls, all sorts of those things. The Chaco Anasazi also had major environmental issues. They dealt with an unstable climate and continual droughts. They had major droughts throughout their history, which they really didn't seem to learn from, because eventually the land, as the population grew, could not support all of their food needs, and the population went into famine.
Hi. Okay, so some of the important timeline dates which lay out the Anasazi cultural life, scientists believe that they started in about the 1500 BC to 200 AD, where domestic plants really came into play, and they had more fertile soil, which caused a population boom. That's known as the Southwest Late Archaic era. And then they go into a Basket Maker 1 and a Basket Maker 2 era, which were really not as advanced as the Basket Maker 3, between 8200 to 500. This showed a really big advancement in their pottery, their kiva construction, or their home construction, and their bow and arrow hunting. They next go into a Pueblo 1 era from AD 750 to 900. This era was when their structures started changing. So instead of being built into the cliff dwellings, they were actually on top of the cliffs and on the ground, where they could bring up their ladders so that enemies couldn't attack them. In the Pueblo 2 era was their most prosperous era, from AD 1000 to 1150. They had a major development here. They had irrigation systems and road constructions. Their pottery was at its height, and people actually looked towards the Chaco Anasazi culture for influence and religious ideas. There were three major droughts that scientists believe caused population decline from AD 1125 to 1180, AD 1270 to 1274, and AD 1275 to 1289. All these droughts created a major famine, and where once they had great fertile soil and plenty of food, they now had almost nothing. So they started migrating south, and where there was more food and more people where they could integrate with. This led us to the Pueblo 3 era, from AD 1150 to 1300. And then in the Pueblo 4 era, where it's AD 1300 to 1600, scientists believe that they were completely abandoned. And then in about 1600, the Spanish started coming in and taking over the land and refertilizing and using it. Thank you.